back to their primary schools. When you're thinking about this, what do you envision will be the sort of conversation and activities in that school where you have now primary schools, kids?
First, give you the background. As I said earlier, education is one of the most precious things that any nation, anywhere, places a premium on. And it is a day where human capital earns us more money than all the other tea, coffee, that we get the teachers on board, all the other facilities on board. But that's now water under the bridge. That's why it was also a conversation in this election. And I took the decision that for us to has been my pet project, and I pushed it ever since I was Minister for Higher Education.
Recommending that grade 7, 8, and 9 be domiciled within the primary. Recommending that grade 7, 8, and 9 be domiciled within the primary school setup. And you mentioned the Teachers Service Commission has advertised 30,000 positions. And these include interns and those permanent and pensionable as well. But does this address the gap? Because this would mean that we need more teachers to address the within primary school that we may need to address the transition to secondary schools. Do these 30,000
assist in the continuing secondary education, and how many of them will go to primary? So that is the decision. Their laboratory,
together the university funds, TVET funds, and HELB. According to the current budget, the university
resources that are available for loans board, to 21 billion. Yeah, that investment, and that's why I made it a subject. Where we are not able to finance, we have to be honest with ourselves. Let me give you, a parent is able to pay for their child in primary and in secondary. Why don't we allow them to pay for their child in university? So that we support the children of the be given bursary or James Matt. I'm
you
really have to
allow for me to ask this question.
We really have to be honest with that, and I'm sorry if I.
No, that's an interesting conversation.
We really have to be honest with ourselves.
Right.
That.
Yeah. Right. Okay, Mr. President, we are positive on getting utilized. What are you doing to make sure that then, after all said and done, these skills, this experience will be utilized for economic growth?
If our industrialization and manufacturing, value addition, agro-processing agenda. It is a big part of our plan. And that is when he's not a politician, he's a very serious professional.
Oh, yeah?
And all that group to make sure that he's ready by 2025. That is why I want to know, Linda, that we are wasting close to 50% of all our hides and skins being eaten by dogs, being buried. When we are buying shoes, we are buying leather. People.
Mr. President, are you aware that we have about 750,000 pistols and rifles in private hands?
We have, the reason why we have a government is a yeah. Otherwise, if stop being a nation and it stop being a state, and we just become something else, right? So, and the use of proliferation of illegal firearms in the wrong hands is part of the challenge. Let me also tell you that it is not over until it is over. So we will keep.
And I quote, "We cannot afford to have a country where citizens live in constant fear, and we will not spare any effort, even if it means using the KDF. The Constitution dictates that the KDF are then released only as a last resort, and of course to restore peace, but with a..."
It is serious. It is serious. But it hasn't reached the threshold for us to go to Parliament to get KDF involved. We, however, are. So there will be, for example, a garrison being built up by the army in Lodwar.
Poor and emus and all that.
I already had a thorough meeting with IPOA, and we have agreed with them that it is not necessary for establish another task force when IPOA is there, and it is squarely within their mandate to tell us how did Kenyans end up being killed in this manner. And then it was business as usual. 30 bodies in Yala, it's 17 bodies in Garissa. I don't know how many bodies were. You know, people, you know, there was a container here at the Nairobi area. People were being slaughtered in a police station. How did we end up there? You know, what kind of rogue, you know, institution? And right.
He did not resign. You fired him.
We'll have another.
Okay, can we move this forward, Your Excellency? Yeah, Congo, we have interest in Somalia. What's our game plan? What exactly are we doing in this?
Smart. We, as a country, and maybe many Kenyans have been wondering, I have been to DRC, I have been to Ethiopia, I was in, if this region is unstable, apart from that, we need to pacify this region so that the East African community can become a real market for our products. We are having a big conversation about Dongo Kundu, about all the other. We are looking at system. I have told I will never call her to ask her for any favor on any case. The only conversation maybe I will ask her is, if a case is taking too long, is to ask her, please expedite, so that we know whether we are going left or we are going right.
Responsibility, because that office, the question that you bring us now to the public is, we have to trust you that you're not as a country, because we don't know the details.
And if it should be called out. That's why I am an open book. That's why I want a vibrant opposition. How we got here because of the handshake nonsense? My good brother, Bwana Smart. We got here because you get the opposition, which is supposed to hold the government to account, no cohabitation, whatever it was called, you know, in the name of unity. What unity? You know, who says by so Kenyans voted in this election, right? There are as many people in Azimio as there are in Kenya. Of course, disunity. The Kenyans voted. So it is now up to us leaders to figure out this is the decision of Kenyans. Kenyans have said, appropriate our responsibilities, join the country.
Yes, just one final question on this, because we have to clear this up.
And let me say it looking at Kenyans.
That's your camera.
The office of the president will not be used
okay.
to use the criminal justice system against my opponents, any political purpose.
So the guarantee here,
And that I can sign off as William Ruto. It will not happen.
the guarantee here,
You know, I can go and speak to Kenyans. Where I spoke to Kenyans, persuade them, tell them my view. They have my track record. They know.
to finish this sequence of questioning on the rule of law and accountability is you.
Well, past 30 days. When you come in the space where we came in, the events of August 15th, were horrible, because even the military institution had been roped into this. So many other issues. Our plate is full. I have to kind of balance, But I want to.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
The political system that we are in, straight after your cabinet, what is the coincidence that I'll just mention 3 names for cases in court? You want to tell us that you didn't have a hand in their clearance and the stalling of those cases?
Let me look again at the people of Kenya. William Ruto, the president of Kenya, had nothing to do with the cases that were dropped by the DPP against not just the 3, any other case.
Okay.
And you can sit with my good brother Nurdilim, drop this case or drop that.
The other day, a member of parliament is now the deputy president, and his cases are falling. And obviously, Kenyans will suspect there's a hand of the president and the government of the day.
Also, Kenyans also Kenyans know.
Yes. Second quarter and third quarter.
Have they also told you that even my own party has not received? Is some parties went to court to quarrel about the amounts?
It's okay. It's a phenomenon that is accepted.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Politics world over is about interests. Politics is ile universal. Hapa iko maneno yangu ya kilimo. So people vote for interests. And for the case you have mentioned about Nairobi and what have you.
50 gender representation in cabinet. You have 15 male CSs, 7 female CSs. You have 39 male PSs and